Hello students, how are you all? I hope you are fit and fine at your home. Students, today we are going to study history subject of 6th standard. Okay? And today we will study the 9th chapter, that is the ancient kingdoms of South. Okay students, in the previous video we have studied the 8th chapter, that is the states after Maurya Empire. It means that in the previous video we have studied about the states in north part of India. Before now moving forward, I would like to say thanks to my subscribers, students, and those who have subscribed it, liked it, shared it and commented below the video. Thank you students, and be connected with me to learn more and more interesting things. Okay, now let's move forward. Today we shall study the main dynasties in the southern part of India. Students, today we shall study the Cher, Chola and Pandya dynasties, the Satwana Dynasty, the Wakatak Dynasty, the Chaluk Dynasty, the Pallava Dynasty, and at the last we are going to study the Rastakutta Dynasty. Okay student, so much dynasties we are going to study in this video. Now students, without wasting time, let's get started with our study. Okay, so first of all we will study the most important dynasties in the southern part. Okay students, first of all I would like to tell you the meaning of dynasty. Most of the times the student asks what is mean by dynasty. Yes students, if you know the meaning of dynasty, you can type your answer in the comment box. Dynasty means a series of rulers who are from the same family, or a period when a country is ruled by them. Yes student, here dynasty means a series of rulers. Okay students, for example we have seen in the previous video that the founder of Maurya dynasty was Chandragupta, then his successor was Bindusara, and then his successor was Ashoka. In this way, a series of rulers from same family ruled the country, that is known as dynasty. Okay students, for example just now I have told you Maurya dynasty. Okay students, have you understood now what is mean by dynasty? Yes, again one more important thing, here the dynasty is pronounced as dynasty or dynasty. Okay, dynasty is the British pronunciation and dynasty is the American pronunciation. Okay, so here it can be pronounced as dynasty or dynasty. Okay students, have you understood? Now let's go into the topic. Now let's gear up with the first point, that is 9.1, the Cher, Pandya and Chola dynasties. Yes students, these are three important dynasties from the southern part of India. So now we will start with the Chera dynasty. Yes student, Chera dynasty is one of the important dynasties from the three main dynasties of south, that is Chera itself, then Pandyas and Cholas. It was one of the principal lineages of in the early history of the present state of Kerala and some part of Tamil Nadu in the southern India. The Chera dynasty was one of the major powers of the southern Tamilkam. Yes students, what do you mean by Tamilkam, or what is Tamilkam? Tamilkam is one of the major part of or region of southern India, and the other two dynasties were the Cholas of Uraiyur and the Pandyas of Madurai. Students, the Chera country geographically placed to profit from maritime trade. Yes student, what do you mean by maritime trade here? The trade which is near to sea. Okay students, so here the Chera country gets profit from the maritime trade because of its geographical location. and it was located near the coastal area. An exchange of spices, especially black pepper, with Middle Eastern and Greco-Roman merchants were attested in several sources. Students, in the early medieval period, the Cheras or Keralas are known to have controlled western Tamil Nadu and central Kerala. The period of Chera Dynasty was lasted from 6th century CE to 13th century CE. Okay, student, have you understood now? Okay, so it is about the Chera Dynasty in short. Now students, we are going to study the next dynasty, that is Pandya Dynasty. Students, the period of Pandya Dynasty was 6th to 10th century CE and later 13th to 14th century CE. The Pandya Dynasty, also known as the Pandyas of Madurai, it was one of the major dynasties of South India. Yes, student, and the other two were the Cheras and the Cholas. Okay, students. So it is also a powerful lineage of southern India. Students, do you know the rulers of these three dynasties were referred to as the three crowned rulers of Tamil country? Yes, student, do not forget it. These three rulers of the three dynasties were referred to as the three crowned rulers of the Tamil country. The Pandyas ruled the extensive territories of the southern India, including Sri Lanka at that present time. And the Madurai was the capital of Pandya's kingdom. Yes, students, do not forget the capital of Pandya's kingdom was Madurai. Okay, students, the references of Pandya's dynasties we do find in the number of references from Greco-Roman sources as well as from the edicts of Maurya Emperor Ashoka. So, where do we find the references or mention of Pandya's dynasty? In the sources from Greco-Roman sources and the edicts of Emperor Ashoka, as well as the Pandyas were celebrated in the famous literature of Tamil, that is Sangam Literature. Yes, student, in the Sangam Literature also we find the mentions of the Pandya's dynasty. Yes, student, in the previous video I have told you what is Sangam Literature. Okay, Greek Latin accounts, coins with legends in Tamil Brahmi scripts, and the Tamil Brahmi inscriptions suggest the continuity of Pandya's dynasty from the 3rd century to the early 14th century. Students, one of the important things of Pandya's dynasties was the Pandya country was home to a number of famous temples, including the Meenakshi Temple. Yes, student, do you know about Meenakshi Temple? Yes, if you know, you can type in the comment box whatever you know about Meenakshi Temple. Okay, so students, it is about the Pandya dynasty. Now we will move forward. Students, now let's learn about the third dynasty of the south, that is the Chola Dynasty. Okay, students, so let's have information about Chola Dynasty. Students, the period of Chola Dynasty was from 3rd BCE to 1279 BCE. Students, do you know it was the longest ruling dynasty of the world? Yes, do not forget it. It was the longest ruling dynasty of the world, which was ruled from the 3rd BCE to 1279 BCE. Okay, student, so it was the longest ruling dynasty in the world. Students, the earliest references of the Chola dynasty we do get from the inscriptions left by the Ashoka emperor in the 3rd BCE as one of the crowned kings of the Tamilkam, along with Cheras and Pandyas. The dynasty continued to rule over varying territories until the 13th century CE. Students, these three dynasties were in power around the 4th century or even before that. They find mentions in the famous epics of India, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata. In the Periplus of Erythraean Sea, Muziris is mentioned as an important port on the coast of Kerala. Yes, students, what is Periplus of Erythraean Sea? Students, do you know what is Periplus of Erythraean Sea? Okay, so let's have some information about the Periplus of Erythraean Sea. The Periplus of Erythraean Sea. Students, here the meaning of periplus is a trip around something or an account of circumnavigation. Okay, students, or we can say a manuscript document that lists the ports and coastal landmarks. Okay, students, so here in the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea is a Greco-Roman periplus written in Koine Greek. Students, Koine Greek means common Greek or Alexandrian dialect. Okay, student. So this periplus is written in common Greek or Alexandrian dialect that describes navigation and trading opportunities from Roman, Egyptian ports like Bernice, Troglodytica, and along the coast of the Red Sea and others along Horn of Africa, the Persian Gulf, Arabian Sea, and the Indian Ocean, including the modern day Sindhu region of Pakistan and southwestern regions of India. Okay, student, have you understood? So, here Periplus of the Erythraean Sea is a record or a document of ports and coastal landmarks. In this manuscript description, we find the mention of Muziris, that is one of the important ports on the coast of Kerala is mentioned. This port was in Cher kingdom and one of the major center for exporting spices, pearls and precious stones, etc. to Rome in Italy and other countries of West. Yes, student. So here what do we see or what do we learn? Here the spices, precious stones and pearls were being transported from India to other countries. For example, in the West countries or Rome in Italy. Okay, student. What do you mean by export, student? Export means to send goods to other countries for sale. The Pandya kingdom was the part of today's Tamil Nadu. There was a great demand for their high quality pearls. Students, as I have told you, the capital of Pandya kingdom was Madurai. The ancient kingdom of Chola were occupied by the region of Tiruchirappalli in Tamil Nadu. Okay, students, so here we had some information about the three important crowned rurals of the Chera, Pandyas and Cholas dynasties. Okay, students? Yes, students, have you understood this much? Very good. Now we will move forward with the new dynasty, that is Satvahana dynasty. Students, now we shall study about the point number 9.2, that is Satwana dynasty. Students, the period of Satwana dynasty was the late 2nd century BCE to early 3rd CE. So, the Satvahana kings ruled during this period, that is the late 2nd BCE to early 3rd century or early 3rd CE. It was an ancient Indian dynasty based in the Deccan Plateau in western and southern India. Yes, student. So it was located in the southern and western India. The Satvahanas also referred as the Andhras in the Puranas. Okay, student. So it was referred as Andhras in the Puranas. The most modern scholars believe that the Satvahanas' rule began in the late 2nd BCE to and lasted until the early 3rd century CE. As in the north, after the decline of Maurya Empire, yes student, we have studied about it in the previous video or in the previous lesson. Okay, so after the decline of Maurya Empire, the local kings in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka also became independent. Yes student, we have studied about it in the previous chapter that after the decline of Maurya Empire, the local kings of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka became independent. They established small kingdoms of their own. One of them was Satvahana. The capital of Satvahana was Pratishthan. Yes students, Pratishthan or at the present day Paitan in Maharashtra was the capital of Satvahana. Okay students. Students, do you know who was the founder of Satwana Dynasty? Yes, let me tell you. King Simukh was the founder of Satwana Dynasty. Okay students, do not forget it. King Simukh was the founder of Satwana Dynasty. One of the inscriptions found in the Naneghat caves near the Junnar in Pune district bears the names of the important persons from this Satwana dynasty. Yes student, okay, do not forget it. One of the inscriptions which was found in the Naneghat caves. Do you know where are these Naneghat caves? These Naneghat caves are in the Junnar. And where is Junnar? Junnar is a place in Pune districts in Maharashtra. Okay students. Students, one of the important characteristics of the kings of this Satwana dynasty was some of the kings from this dynasty used to write their mother's name before their name. For example, Gautami Putra Satkarni. Okay, Gautami Putra Satkarni was one of the famous kings of Satwana dynasty. A stone inscription in a cave at Nasik describes his deeds of valor. Yes student, what do you mean by valor? Greatness or bravery, especially in war. Okay student, so this inscription in a cave at Nasik describes the deeds or bravery of the king, that is Gautami Putra Satkarni. He had defeated the Shaka king Napana. Students, he is described as Tri Samudra Toya Pit Vahana. Yes students, do not forget it. He was described as Tri Samudra Toya Pit Vahana. Yes, what do you mean by it? If you know the meaning of it, you can type your answer in the comment box. Now, let me tell you what is the meaning of this Tri Samudra Toya Pit Vahana. Okay. Tri means three, Samudra means sea, and Toya means water, and Pit means to drink. At the last, Vahana means the vehicle. Okay students, so here it means that one whose horses have drunk the water of three seas. This line shows the greatness or bravery of the king, that is Gautami Putra Satkarni. And students, do you know which are these three seas? One is Arabian Sea, the second one is the Bay of Bengal, and the third one is Indian Ocean. Okay student, so here it is mentioned that his horses had drunk the water of these three seas. It means or it shows the bravery of the king Gautami Putra Satkarni. Okay student, have understood? Very good. Students, during his reign or period, the empire of the Satvahana dynasty was extended from the river Narmada in the north to the river Tungabhadra in the south. Students, have understood? Now, the famous poetic work, that is Gatha Shaptashati in Maharashtri. Maharashtri is a Prakrit language. Okay, students, and in this language, the Gatha Shaptashati was composed by one of the kings, that is Hala, from this dynasty. This poetic work by Hala describes the life of people during the Satwana dynasty. Students, the Indian trade increased greatly in the Satavahana period. Paithan, Ter, Bhokadan and Kolhapur were the important centers of trade in Satavahana dynasty. Yes, student. Nowadays, at present, all these places are located in Maharashtra. Okay. Paithan in Aurangabad, Ter in Usmanabad, Bhokadan and Kolhapur. Okay, student, have you understood? During this period, many artistic objects were produced at these places. Indian goods were exported as far away as Rome. Yes, student, I have already told you that export were being done till Rome in Italy to the some of the western countries. Some of the Satvahana coins carried the images of sheep. Students, the cave sculptures of Ajanta, Nasik, Bhaze, Kaneri, Junnar in Maharashtra were curved in the period of Satvahana. Okay, students, have you understood about the Satwana dynasty? Very good. Now we will move forward with the next dynasty, that is the Wakatak dynasty. Students, now we shall study 9.3, that is the Wakatak dynasty. Okay, students, the power of Satwana dynasty began to weaken by the 3rd century CE. After that, one of the emerged dynasties was Wakatak. Okay, students, and it was the most powerful among them. The Wakatak dynasty was founded by Vindhya Shakti. Yes, students, do not forget it. The founder of Wakatak dynasty was Vindhya Shakti. He was succeeded by Pravalsan I. After his death, the dynasty of Wakatak get divided. There were 2 branches. The capital of first one was the Nandivardhan, near to Nagpur. The capital of second branch was at Vatsagulam, that is today's Washim. Pravalsen I, son of Vindhya Shakti, had extended the Wakatak kingdom in the north up to Malwa and Gujarat, and in the south up to Kolhapur. Students, one of the important thing that you should remember is, at that time Kolhapur was called Kuntal. Yes, students, do not forget it. Kolhapur was called as Kuntal at that time. Students, we have studied that the Gupta emperor Chandragupta II married his daughter Prabhadevi to Rudrasen II, the Wakatak king. Varahadev, a minister of Wakatak king Harisan, was a follower of Buddhism. Cave number 16 at Ajanta was dug at his instance. Some other caves at Ajanta were dug and beautified with paintings during Harisena's reign. Students, the Wakatak king Pravalsan II had composed Setubandh in Maharashtri, a Prakrit language. Similarly, Kalidasa's Meghdud also belongs to this period. Yes, students, have you understood about the Wakatak dynasty now? Okay, very good. Now, students, we will have further information about 3 more dynasties, that are the Chalukya, the Pallava and the Rastakutta dynasties. Okay, students, very good. So let's have more information about these dynasties. 9.4. The Chalukya Dynasty. Students, the Chalukya dynasty in Karnataka was a powerful one. The period of Chalukya dynasty was 6th century and 12th century. It is also called as classical Indian royal dynasty. The Chalukya dynasty ruled southern and central India. The kingdoms of Kadamba, Kalchuri had become powerful after the decline of Wakatakas, but the Chalukya kings established their dominance over all of them. Students, here dominance means control. So, Chalukya kings established their control over all of them. Pulakeshi first established the rule of Chalukya dynasty in the 6th century CE. It means that the founder of Chalukya dynasty was Pulakeshi I. Okay? His capital was Badami, which was earlier called Vatapi. Yes, students, do remember the capital of Chalukya dynasty in the 6th century was Badami and it is called Vatapi. The Chalukya king Pulakeshi II had successfully repulsed Emperor Harshavardhana's invasion. Yes, student, here Pulakeshi II had successfully pushed back Emperor Harshavardhana's invasion. Invasion means what, students? What do you mean by invasion? Forceful attack. Okay. So here Pulakeshi II push off or fight back Emperor Harshavardhana's invasion. The famous temples at Badami, Ayole and Pattadakal were built during the Chalukya period. Okay, students, have you understood this much? Very good. In short, I would like to revise. The founder of Chalukya dynasty was Pulakeshi I. Okay, he had established the rule of the Chalukya dynasty in 6th century and the capital of his dynasty was Badami, which was earlier called Vatapi. Okay, students, as well as we have studied, Pulakeshi II had successfully pushed back or fight back Emperor Harshavardhana's invasion. Okay, students? Yes. Now we shall study 9.5, the Pallava Dynasty. Okay, are you ready? Very good. The Pallavas were also powerful dynasty in South India. Okay, students, this dynasty, that is Pallava dynasty, existed from 275 CE to 897 CE. Okay, students, Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu was their capital. Okay, and Simhavarman I was the founder of Pallava dynasty. Do not forget, student, the founder of Pallava dynasty was Simhavarman I. Okay, and just now I have told you Kanchipuram in Tamil Nadu was their capital. Mahendravarman was an able Pallava ruler. Yes, the period of Mahendravarman was 600 to 630 CE. Okay, students, and he was considered as an able Pallava ruler. He expanded the Pallava kingdom. He was also a playwright. His son Narasimhavarman repulsed the attack on his kingdom by the Chalukya king Pulakeshi II. Okay, student, just now I have told you the meaning of repulsed. Repulsed means fight back or push back. Okay. One more important thing of Narasimha Varman was the famous Ratha temples of Mahabalipuram were sculpted during his reign. Yes, students, do you know about Ratha temples? Yes, let's have some information about Ratha temples. These are called as Pancharathas or 5 Rathas as well as Pandava Rathas. Okay, student. Pandava Rathas is a monument complex at Mahabalipuram on the Coromandel coast of the Bay of Bengal. Yes, student. Where does it situated? It is situated on the Coromandel coast of Bay of Bengal in Kanchipuram, district of state of Tamil Nadu. Do not forget, student. Okay. Pancharathas is an example of monolithic Indian rock cut architecture. The complex occurred during the reign of King Narasimha Varman I. Just now I have told you about Narasimha Varman, okay, how he repulsed the attack on his kingdom by the Chalukya king Pulakeshi II. And the period of Narasimha Varman I was 630 to 668 AD. Okay, students, do you know the names of these Rathas? Let me tell you the names of Rathas. First, Dharmaraja Ratha. Second, Bhima Ratha. Third, Arjuna Ratha. Fourth, Nakul Sahadev Rathas. And the last one, that is fifth, Draupadi Rathas. Okay, students? Yes, and it is declared by UNESCO that it as the World Heritage Site. Okay, students? So it is important. Now, these temples have been sculpted in a single rock. This is also very important. The Pallavas had a powerful and well-equipped navy. With it, it is very important, students, the Pallavas had a powerful, well-equipped navy too. During this period, India came in close contact with the countries of Southeast Asia. Internal and foreign trade flourished. Yuan Chiang had visited Kanchi and recorded that people of all religions received a tolerant and just treatment under the rule of the Pallava kings. Okay, students, have understood this much? So, here we had some short information about the Pallava dynasty. Okay, now we are going to study about the Rastakutta dynasty. So, here point number 9.6, that is the Rastakutta dynasty. At the height of their power, the dominion of the Rastakutta dynasty extended from Vindhya mountains up to Kanyakumari in the south. Yes, student, the extension of Rastakutta dynasty was from Vindhya regions or Vindhya mountains in Maharashtra up to Kanyakumari in southern part of India. Okay, their power was established in Maharashtra by King Danti Durga. Yes, student, do not forget who established the power of Rastakutta dynasty in Maharashtra. The King Danti Durga. Okay, Krishna Raja I had the famous Kailas temple carved at Ellora. Yes, student, it is very important and it is very famous temple. Okay, that temple is Kailas temple carved at Ellora. Yes, student, you might have known about Ellora and Ajanta. Okay, so here Krishna Raja I had the famous Kailas temple carved at Ellora. Okay, up to now we have learned about the different dynasties that ruled ancient India. In the next lesson, we will review the social and cultural life in ancient India. Yes, student, have you understood? Very good. Students have understood about the dynasties in southern part of India. Okay, so all these were very important dynasties in south part of India. Okay, students, have understood? Yes. If you have any doubt, you can type your question in the comment box. I will try to solve it out. Okay, students. So here today we have studied the Cheras, Pandyas, Cholas dynasties in south. These were called as a crowned rulers of South India. Okay, with it we have studied the other important dynasties too. Okay, okay students, if you have understood and found it important to you, as well as if you have liked it, do not forget to like it, share it to your friends and relatives, and do not forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you will get current notification of new videos. Okay students, till then, be safe at home. Do not forget to wear a mask outside and do not forget to maintain the social distance. Thank you. Be connected.